Tim Cook spent 15 years focused on the physical mechanics of the global supply chain. He built a logistics apparatus capable of scaling the company to a $4 trillion valuation. But today, the tech industry is fixated on something you can't put on a cargo ship. Generative artificial intelligence relies on massive cloud compute capabilities and sprawling server farms. So to lead Apple through this aggressive software race, the board didn't pick an AI developer. They selected John Ternus, a mechanical engineer who has spent 25 years at the company, obsessed with physical objects. It is a deliberate shift. Apple is doubling down on a hardware purist, precisely when its competitors are abandoning the physical for the digital. Ternus's approach to engineering was forged at the University of Pennsylvania in the mid-90s. At Penn, he was an all-time letter winner on the varsity swim team, competing in high-stakes events like the 50-meter freestyle and 200-meter individual medley. This environment demanded a high capacity for discipline and precision, traits he carried into a 1997 engineering cohort that included Elon Musk. For his senior project, he utilized that focus to build a complex mechanical feeding arm. It was designed specifically for individuals with quadriplegia, but the input method was the real challenge. The mechanics of the arm are controlled entirely by head movements. Ternus had to translate subtle human gestures into precise mechanical joint actions. It proved his foundational engineering ethos. Technology exists to solve a physical constraint and enhance a human capability. After a career start designing virtual reality headsets, he joined Apple in 2001. His initial work on the Apple Cinema display began a 20-year methodical climb through the hardware organization. He demonstrated a mastery of miniaturization with the AirPods, managing the brutal physics of fitting acoustic systems and stable batteries into an enclosure that small. By 2020, he led the Apple Silicon transition. This was the moment the Mac moved away from Intel chips and toward Apple's own custom-designed architecture. Traditional hardware hits a thermal wall, generating more heat than it can dissipate. But Apple Silicon's highly efficient architecture stays cool. This lower temperature completely shifts the physical limits, allowing his team to design a drastically thinner chassis and rethink the entire internal component layout. His ascent through the organization was driven by this ability to balance physical limitations against performance, turning engineering constraints into the foundational structure of the ecosystem. Apple today is a company of massive proportions. Tim Cook spent 15 years perfecting the operations of this global system. Now, Ternus is pivoting the entire organization back to a product-first design ethos. The question is how a hardware expert intends to fight a software war against rivals who currently dominate the artificial intelligence landscape. Ternus describes his strategy as invisible AI. The philosophy is that artificial intelligence should be a seamless background process that makes the things you do easier, rather than a chatbot you have to interact with directly. This diagram shows how that actually works. Apple Intelligence is designed to operate locally. Instead of pinging an external cloud server for every request, the data is processed directly on the device's hardware. This relies on aggressive hardware innovation, like the high-performance MacBook Neo, and ongoing bets in spatial computing. While the rest of the industry races toward incomprehensible cloud scale, Apple is betting on a builder. They are wagering that the physical object in your hand remains the ultimate anchor of technology.